Are you dreaming of a place where you can actually enjoy retirement without draining your savings? Then you'll want to hear this. I'm living proof that you can have an incredible life on a shoestring budget right here in Indonesia. Whether you're ready to retire or maybe hustling as a digital nomad, Indonesia offers more than just palm trees and beaches. It's a place where your money goes further and your life feels richer, even if your bank says something else. Stick around because later in this video, I'm breaking it all down. Every regular monthly expense that I have, so you can see exactly what it costs to live my life. Who knows? Indonesia might just be the perfect fit for you too. But let's be real. When most people hear the phrase living abroad, they picture something glamorous, sipping cocktails by the beach and hopping on flights every weekend. But that's not everyone's expat reality. Some of us choose to or need to live a very different kind of life overseas. Many of us American expats in Indonesia, or even elsewhere in Southeast Asia, live on a shoestring budget. In fact, you'd be surprised how many people are actually doing exactly that and doing it happily. I'm one of them. My life here isn't Instagram perfect every day, but it's real, and it's a far better fit for me than trying to scrape by in the US. So if you're curious about what it's really like to live in Indonesia with limited funds, pull up a chair, let's talk. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm an American expat, and when I wanted to live an adventurous but inexpensive life overseas, I took the plunge and now make videos about both the challenges and the joys of living as an expat in Indonesia. Welcome to my YouTube channel, KateGypsy. So let's start with the big question. Why Indonesia? Well, let me take you back to my life before Indonesia. I'll be honest, I was never great at saving money. Like a lot of folks, I lived from paycheck to paycheck. I loved to travel, sure, but I always did it on the cheap. Fancy hotels, not my thing. I just wanted to explore new places, even if that meant roughing it a little. But because money was always tight, those travel dreams, even the cheap ones, didn't happen as often as I would have liked. Then one day, a short-term job offer popped up. 3 months in Indonesia, and the employer would even pay for my flight. I didn't know a single thing about the country, but I figured, hey, why not? Worst case, I could tough it out for 3 months. But here's the twist. Before that job was even over, I was hooked. The people, the culture, and yes, the fact that life here was actually affordable. It all just clicked. Yeah, the cost of living is what really makes it doable on a tight budget. But you need to rethink the idea of living on a budget, because the word budget often feels like a life sentence to struggle. You picture skipping meals, living in a shoebox, and constantly worrying about money. But in Indonesia, a modest budget can go surprisingly far, especially if you're willing to adjust your expectations and adopt a simpler way of life. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not out here surviving on $5 a day. But I'm also not living some fantasy version of an expat lifestyle with a swimming pool and weekend spa retreats. What I found is something better. A lifestyle that's modest and comfortable without stressing about money every month. Here's the thing. My only monthly income is Social Security. That's it. I worked hard for it, but I didn't build any kind of a retirement fund. I just never figured out how to save money. But here in Indonesia, that Social Security check stretches surprisingly far. I live well enough, but simply, and it feels good. Housing is one of the easiest places expats can blow their budget, or stretch it further than they ever thought possible. A lot of Americans arrive in Indonesia and head straight for the sleek villas or Western style apartments in Bali with all the bells and whistles. And hey, if that's your style and your budget allows it, go for it. It'll still cost less than back home. But for me, that kind of setup was way out of reach. Instead, I went the budget-friendly route. I found a spacious place that needed a little upgrading just outside the city, and I snagged it for about $100 a month. Seriously, it's not a typical expat housing. It's simple, it's comfortable, and most importantly, it lets me live completely within my means. And let me tell you, that kind of financial freedom feels amazing. Food is another way some expats blow their budget. Imported foods like cheese, wine, American steak can cost a lot here. But if you eat like locals do, not only do you save money, you also eat delicious, fresh, homemade food. My meals are simple, tasty, and super affordable. Most days I eat rice, fresh veggies, tempeh, and then either eggs or chicken. All delicious, all local. Fresh produce here is great and dirt cheap compared to what I used to pay in the States. And don't worry, if you're the type who craves a slice of home every now and then, yes, pizza is absolutely a thing here. Indonesians love it too. And when I really want to treat myself, I hit up the little import store in town and grab an imported US steak to cook at home. That's my version of a splurge, and it still fits within my budget. Then how do you plan to get around town? I don't own a car here, and honestly, I don't miss it at all. Getting around is ridiculously easy thanks to ride shares. With just a few taps on your phone, a driver shows up on a motorbike or in a car, whichever you prefer, ready to take you to your destination. It's fast, super affordable, and way less stressful than dealing with traffic or parking lots. I can get across town for a very reasonable price, and I never have to worry about maintenance, gas, or insurance. It's total freedom without a car. So now let's take a look at my monthly expenses. I've written them down so I won't forget anything, but let me say first that I probably have more expenses than you're likely to have. Yeah, I've got 6 dogs that get imported dog food. Nothing but the best, the very best for them. Then I have several salaries to pay for home help and doing odd jobs around the house. And besides that, I'm a shopaholic. Yes, I like to shop, and I allow myself some special items each month. And on these monthly expenses, I haven't included rent. It's paid once a year or once every 2 years. But keep in mind that my rent came out to about $100 a month. So here are my monthly expenses, and I've converted them to US dollars. Remember, I have more expenses than you would probably have. Electricity, $87 and a half. Friends in the US thought this was expensive, and perhaps it is. I don't know what the rates are in the US, but that's what I pay here. Landline is $6 a month. I don't need a landline, but it belongs to the landlady, so I really can't drop it. Gotta keep it. Cell phone number one, $12.50. This isn't unlimited calls, it's just how much I use every month. And then there's cell phone number two, $6 a month. Do I really need a second cell phone? Probably not. I have the SIM card in my iPad and think of it as kind of a backup, just in case. Next is internet, which is $36.50 each month. It isn't blazing fast, but I'm able to watch videos online without any stopping and starting. It works just fine for me, for everything I have to do. And then health insurance, BPJS health insurance, $10 a month. This one often surprises people. Healthcare in Indonesia is not only affordable, it's surprisingly good. Next, salaries. Salaries run me about $500 a month. That's for several people who work in my home, work in the yard, do repairs around the house, and so on. Next is groceries, which is $315. And that is enough money to pay for groceries for several people, around 7 people, and it includes the wet food that my housekeeper makes for my 6 dogs. Then I have a miscellaneous fund, $315. And this is my own little fund for whatever strikes my fancy. Next is imported dog food, $220 a month for my 6 dogs. So the total comes up to about $1,508. Now you wouldn't have all of those items, so you can just subtract any of the items that you wouldn't have. But you can see now that I can make it on basically $1,500 a month, even though I have more expenses than most of you would probably have. So it is very affordable, and I'm very happy here. Is my lifestyle for everyone? No, probably not. It's not for everyone. Some people need more comfort, more predictability, more familiar than living abroad on a budget can offer. And that's okay. There are days when I miss certain things about the US, the efficiency, the familiar products, the ease of being in a place I know very well. But if you're open to a different pace, if you're willing to live simply and embrace the quirks and adventures that come with life in a developing country, Indonesia can offer you a kind of freedom that's hard to find elsewhere. Living in Indonesia as an American on a shoestring budget isn't always easy, but it's absolutely possible and incredibly rewarding. You'll face challenges, yeah, but you'll also find adventures on a regular basis. If you're tired of scraping by back home, this might just be the path for you. So pack light, stay flexible, and don't worry if your life here doesn't look like a travel commercial. It's better than that. It's real. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. And please leave a comment below and let me know what your plans are. Are you going to become an expat, or are you already an expat? Next time. See you next time. Bye.